Welcome back to Nicely Soiled. This is Valentina, and this is the second video of the series where we are going to learn how to take care of our plants. And if you are a beginner, you may be wondering what you may need to really take care of your plants at best. So I'm going to give you a short list, and I'm going to show you what I use for my plants and what I think is useful. Most probably some of these things you already have. Maybe, I hope, I will give you some tips and good recommendations on what you can add to your equipment collection to make things even easier for you to take care of your plants. I would like to be a bit more precise on this. It is all the equipment, the most important things that you need to have for your houseplants. And I'm not talking about gardening, because gardening needs some further equipment. But my passion is houseplants. I don't have a garden, so I can tell you what I use for my houseplants. So let's start with the most important things, which is surely the pot. You have so many different types of pots that really you have a lot of choice. But what I really recommend is you keep a pot with the holes on the bottom to facilitate the drainage. So this is the pot. This is a plastic pot, and I have a cover. Because this doesn't have a hole, it's a bit difficult to make a hole on this. I mean, you could do it, but I prefer to keep it just simply as a cover. So, depending on the type of plant, you may want to go either for a plastic pot or for a terracotta pot, or other types like this one made of coconut fiber that you can hang. This is a Carafe, and it's a plant that hangs, so I decided to use this pot here for my plant. It's a really good choice. Why is it such a good choice? Because it has a good drainage, and this plant specifically doesn't like stagnating water in the pot. So because it's all natural fiber that allows to drain the water really well, then this is the correct pot. It's also really beautiful because I like it a lot. It really matches the style of my home, and I can also hang it. While for other types of plants, you may want to go for a terracotta type of pot. Why? Because it allows the plant and the soil to breathe a bit better. So especially if you're an overwaterer like me, then you may decide to go for a terracotta pot or a plastic pot, especially for plants that really need to have an always moist soil. And I'm referring to calithias. Usually, I mean, it's better because you have less evaporation of water. So yeah, I mean, overall, if you keep your plant monitored, any of these will go well, but depending on the needs and the type, you may as well decide to go for a different pot rather than the other one. Another thing that I would say about pots is that you can also have pots without the holes, but it really makes your life much more difficult. I'm not saying that I don't have any pot without the hole, but I know I need to be super careful. When I water my plant, I know I have to really understand how much water that soil can absorb and make sure I'm not giving it too much water. So this is a recommendation. Then I've never tried it, but there are also self-watering pots, such as the Lachusia pots, but I really can't give you feedback on that. I will in the future, if you want. If you ask me, I can test it and let you know what I think about it, but yeah, for the moment that is all. I heard that they work very well though. What else? Then, what else do we have here? For me, it is essentially a sprayer, especially since I love tropical plants who love a lot of who love a lot of humidity, then for me this is essential to keep them fresh and hydrated. I use the distilled water or filtered water for the sprayer for a couple of reasons. My water has a lot of calcium, so this sometimes still gets stuck if I use filtered water. So if your water has the same problem of mine, then you may want to go for filtered water, just exactly like I do. And nothing, I spray them once in a while to make sure that they all enjoy the humidity that they want. Then for me another essential equipment is this one, is the filtering carafe, because some tropical plants are very, very picky. And again, I'm referring to calithias, I'm referring to nepenthes, which are the carnivorous plants. They do not tolerate nonsense in the water. So this is a solution if you don't want to go for like distilled water, which is hard to carry. You always have to buy it new, or you have to make it. You have to have like a big machine to filter it, and or otherwise it's pretty polluting because they sell them in big plastic tanks, which I don't recommend. Then another essential thing to keep the atmosphere hydrated is this little thing here. I mean, it's not essential, but I highly recommend it because especially some plants really like high levels of humidity. And although this is not like really professional machine that keeps like very high levels of humidity, this can really help quite a lot. It's very cheap, it's like 19 euros more or less. So yeah, and it's really, really pretty because it changes color. If you want, I can make a review for this as well. Just let me know in the comments. And all the products that I'm mentioning in this video, I'm going to put all the links down in the info box, so you can find them here. Then for me, another essential thing. Since I love all the cuttings for plants, like when I go out for a walk, I find lots of branches, or anyway, there are some plants that I really want higher amounts of humidity. Then I have two nice things here. The first one is this one, which is a sort of terrarium. I don't know if you can see the plant. It's a litki. These plants outside of these don't have any chances of survival. So they are these little seeds. They start from these little seeds, and they are super delicious as fruits. I tried many times to turn them into plants, and I found out that the only way that you can be successful is to keep them on a container like this. This one didn't grow quite a lot because I contained the growth, putting them in a small terracotta pot, and the humidity is the same. So basically I never water this thing because it has its humidity, it is happy, and now you can see also the humidity on the glass, but you don't always see it. I mean, now it's less nice to see because it has been near the window, but usually, especially in the winter, you don't even notice it. And yeah, it's a great trick to make your seeds germinate. And I have so many different types of these. So this is one that my brother got for me. It's made by Green Factory, this terrarium, except for the plantum that I had to replace. Otherwise I have these ones for my seeds and also for my peperonia cuttings. And here you can see the link for the video where I explain how to propagate peperonias, and as well as how I take care of them. And a similar thing is this one, where I keep my moss. For me, moss is essential as well. I got these from the mountains. I made sure that it doesn't have like pests, animals, maybe something remained stuck, but I really don't think so. And this helps me keep my moss hydrated and nice and green. I mean, now it's a bit stuck, but it appears a bit more brown, but inside it's much more green. So these are all essential tools that you want to have if you like to create terrariums, if you like to use moss as a part of your artistic compositions of plants. And yep. Another thing that I use quite a lot, this one, super easy. If it gets dirty, things get dirty around, I always use it. It's hardly a couple of euros, but it really saves your life if you don't want to clean like everywhere your home. Another thing, of course, is the soil. So this is expanded clay that you can use for better, for better drainage. You can put it at the bottom of the pot. So if you have plants that really do not tolerate any stagnating water, then you may as well put these. So you're making sure that your plant is going to be happier. And soil. This is for cacti, for example, but there are for so many different types of plants, and depending on the type of plant, you will have to go for its own soil. There is also an all-purpose soil for less picky plants, but many have their own acidity, pH that is different, and the level of drainage is quite a lot different from one soil to the other. So depending on the type of plant, you may want to choose it. For example, if you have orchid, you will want orchid bark. If you have a cactus, you may want soil for cacti. If you have an azalea, that has also another different type of soil. So yeah, I mean, you will need to have a few different types depending on the type of plant you have. Then something that I discovered super recently that I say, oh goodness, I should have known before that this thing exists. This is a very simple idea. I don't know if Gardena invented it or if somebody else invented it, they made it. It's unbelievable, guys. I wish I knew before. It's a repot mat and it makes your life super easier. So this channel's name is Nicely Soiled because it's nice to, soil your hands and play with the soil. But when it comes to your desk, it's very irritating that it all gets messed up when you repot something. So basically this is only like a square of basically something like a plastic material, and it has some buttons here which you can do like this. Oops. And it basically, I'm trying to show you, it becomes a square. You can do your repotting inside, and then once you're done, you can put back in another pot or get rid of everything that is extra that you don't want to, and it doesn't mess up your desk. I don't know if I can show you a picture. It's this one. Comes with a cover. If you want, you see, it's this one. If you want, I can make a review on this. Just ask me, and I would be very happy to show you also this one. It is not sponsored. I bought it with my own money, so it's a very impartial review. Then what else? I use a lot this. I use them to make these, And if you haven't watched it, watch the video where I show you how to hang pots. I will put all the links, so at the end of the video you will be able to also watch the next ones if you're interested, of course. Then what else? Using hydro spikes. I didn't, this is to water plants when you're away on vacation, or maybe when you don't have too much time. I don't see a great result of these. I'm still trying them, still trying to figure out if I'm doing something wrong that doesn't work too well with the hydro spikes, but this is part of my equipment. Oh, another thing, rooting powder. I use it for my cuttings. I can also show you how to use it. Oh, well, yes, definitely on the video on how to propagate plants, which is still part of the course. So, yeah, something that I bought some time ago. It's a lot of powder, it will last for a long time. And it's supposed to help with the rooting, as well as this one. The other one, this one is a powder, this one is a liquid that helps us stimulate roots and kind of fertilize it. It's a biostimulant, and it's also for organic agriculture. I prefer to use this than other things, especially if it's for my plants that I'm going to eat, like the rosemary, like the mint. I prefer to have something organic rather than something synthetic, you know what I mean. What else? Fertilizer. Here, one for the plants in bloom and one for green plants. I use these. These are synthetic. I will also try the organic ones, which are supposed to be a bit more delicate. With these, I always cut by half and maybe even more the amount of fertilizer I use on a monthly basis, because they are pretty strong. So keep in mind that if you choose a synthetic fertilizer, you will need to be a bit more careful than the organic ones. I was forgetting. Pots. If you have like seeds or something like that is fast growing and that you cannot repot for a lot of time because the roots are very sensitive, you may go for these that basically melt over time. It's paper, so they're not going to damage the roots of the plant. If you then let's say repot it in a different pot that is bigger, you can always put this directly on the other soil, and once you water it with time, it will really melt and integrate with the soil. They melt a bit too quickly, so I usually don't go for these. I bought them, but I keep in mind that I have them in case I wanted to use them. Oh, I forgot, I also have this one, the fertilizer for tillandsias. May seem obvious, a pair of scissors is necessary, as well as the watering can. I use 6 liters. Why? It has a very simple reason. Because when I fertilize my plants, I find it easier to measure the amount of fertilizer, because it goes by 4 liters by 4 liters. For example, this says 1 cap for every 4 liters. So I can't use really a bottle, because a bottle is only 1.5 liters. So with this, I use, with the fertilizer, half a cup for 6 liters. So I'm sure I'm not going to kill my plants, because it has happened to me and I don't want it to happen again. Well, I think I told you most of it. Maybe the last thing that I think is quite useful is this one, a stick, and these things. So if you have something like creepers or plants that you want them to grow like straight, then you can always do that. You can find sticks a bit everywhere. You can buy them at the nursery, and these are for the for the plastic bags for food recycle these, so I don't pollute any extra, and I use these that are brown, so they really match the color of my plants. So I would say that this is all for today. If anything else comes to my mind, I'll put it down in the info box. I'll leave you all the links so you can find all the references. And yeah, if you have anything further that you think, oh, this is super necessary and it's a bit less common to have it, but I found it super useful, please let us know in the comments, because it's going to help me, but it's also going to help everyone that is going to watch this video and is going to read your comments. So feel absolutely free to do it. And yeah, if you liked this video, please give it a like. If you're not subscribed yet, it would really help me a whole lot if you subscribed to my channel. Well, if you want to know when I'm uploading a new video, click the red button. And feel free to share this channel with your friends and family and plant lovers who are in love with plants as much as you are. I thank you for having watched this video until the end. I'm super happy you did. And I wish you a super nice day. Bye!